And we are joined now by Dr. Shrimal Fernando, his advisor of the new regional diplomacy. He's joining us live from Colombo. Thank you very much, Dr. Fernando.
Thank
Now,
you.
is there too much pressure on President Dissanayake with this kind of a mandate? Or, does it strengthen his hands like no other president before him?
I would say his hands are strengthened like no other president. I mean, it's a new chapter in Sri Lanka when it comes to politics because he gained a two-thirds majority. That's 159, even more than the previous president Gotabaya Rajapaksa. And also, this mandate is not only from the south; it is also from the north. Where Jaffna District was won by the NPP, and also a lot of support coming from all communities. And yes, that's
Yes.
what I feel. Yeah.
Okay, indeed. Now, among the new faces in Parliament, who are likely to hold positions in the government? Because obviously there are lots of new faces. After all, the NPP had only 3 seats earlier. Now they have 159.
Yes, especially the MPs like Handun Hetty could hold, and also Dr. Nalinda might hold the health ministry position. And there are many MPs who have got elected. It's a system change, and it's a new direction when it comes to the national people's power handling the country's new development trajectory in the coming years, right?
Indeed, you say that it's a new Sri Lanka in a sense. But is there a demand to go after the old guard for corruption? Is that something that is included in this mandate, in your opinion?
Yes, I mean, these were the pledges before NPP came to power. And definitely corruption charges will be there. And that will be one of the key mandates of the new political party that has come into power in Sri Lanka. Yeah.
What happens now to the opposition? So some analysts say that there isn't much opposition, but we know that the Rajapaksas are history, at least for the moment. Ranil Wickramasinghe's party was reduced to 5 seats, and even Sajith Premadasa isn't much of an opposition given the numbers of seats that they won.
Yes, but what I would say is even though they have reduced, the Samagi Janabalaveke has reduced from 54 to 41 seats, there's potential with time. The opposition could raise if certain things are not achieved within a certain period. They can garner the strength. Now, if we see the previous opposition when NPP was only 3 seats, how they garnered their strength when the 2022 uprising came, they gained strength. So anything could happen if pledges are not kept on a pace, on the right pace. So, but I think this government will do their best for the people, and they have promised, and it's a new.
So that's easier said than done, Dr. Fernando. After all, there was a financial crisis that the country went through, and reducing the cost of living from the leftist point of view, some of the people who have given sound bites to agencies, they've said that, this is a party that will look at its ideologies, its leftist ideologies, it will fulfill them. How do you think this can be, done at this time when the country is actually trying to bring about an economic recovery?
But still, when it comes to economic balancing, India and China are key 2 players with the IMF. Still, the reform process has to go ahead. But also, austerity measures that were there in the previous government should be reduced so that the people of the middle class and the lower middle class gain an upper hand and have breathing space. So these are areas that this new government, with more welfare policies in their task, will try to handle towards cushioning the economic burden in the coming months.
Dr. Fernando, you're an expert in foreign affairs. So let me ask you, you did mention both China and India are important in managing the economic situation. How do you look at the foreign policy of Dissanayake going forward now that he has this kind of mandate?
Well, for Dissanayake and the National People's Alliance, the neighbor is the key. Even though political directions have changed a little bit, I would say Dissanayake will have the first priority towards India when it comes to security as well as economic stability. And he has discussed, like when he came to power with the Indian High Commissioner, on key areas like connectivity, energy, and this government is seeking expertise from India when it comes to energy, when it comes to Trincomalee, Manna Basin, and also disputes on the fisheries area will be, I think, solved. And a mandate that is coming from the north when it comes to the 13th Amendment and other areas will be key to have a more diverse as well as more exclusive kind of approach and a socialist approach, which is more likely admired by most of these powerful nations like India and China. So I think he will have a smooth ride, and I hope the new foreign minister, the incoming foreign minister, who will have more advice and a balanced approach when it comes to India and its long-standing friendship.
Right. And if you could give me an assessment from the ground, about the recovery, the process, how well on track it is, and in terms of also the improvement in tourism. After all, tourism was affected during the time of the financial crisis.
Yes, tourism is cushioning the current economy, as well as the GDP growth is picking up, as well as the rupee is getting stabilized. And during the previous government, as well as the incoming government, which is trying to stabilize the investment deals, as well as all the restructuring deals with the international private bondholders, as well as nations like India, China, as well as Japan, were key during that. This has brought some kind of stability, and I think when the fourth tranche is released by the IMF and more monetary measures, as well as physical and sustainable monetary measures are implemented, this will bring more outlook for the new government and to proceed on a more upward trajectory in the GDP. This is the key. Economy will be the key in the coming months for this new government.
Dr. Shrimal Fernando, thank you very much for joining us from Colombo, and wishing you all the very best for the new government. Now, moving on then.